Hi, welcome to class. We're the only two right now, but the other ones will show up eventually, right? I hate my life. I hate my life.
And Professor Sunreis Productions!
Hello class, Professor Sunreis here. In today's class, we're gonna take a look at an updated deck profile for my Bystial Dragon Link, Dragon Control, I shouldn't call it Dragon Link deck. So yeah, some of you guys have asked for it, and I did change up quite a bit in the side deck. Well, the core of the deck is basically the same. I think just giving you my updated thoughts and theory about the deck might be appropriate, as the format is gonna take a while again, until like 1 month or something like that. So you will still have some time to play with the deck list or similar list to this in the future. So without further ado, don't forget to like and subscribe, leave some feedback down in the comment section below, and let's get right into the profile. Not a lot has changed, but I think giving you guys an updated deck profile is still something I want to do. We will be having a meta shift in like a month or now, so this will definitely be my way to play this deck until the release of Hypernova or something. So let's just get into the card by card. Of course, we're still on a 40 card main deck. For those of you who've seen my second to last video or something, the testing stream I did, you've probably seen most of this list. But I just want to give you guys my reasoning for the ratios for the cards, like in an in-depth, more standalone videos for everyone to see. So we have 3 Starlish Safred, of course, still the best normal summon in the deck. 3 Red as Darkest Middle Ring. I'm convinced that 3 is the correct ratio for now. You just really need to see a starter. And 3 Chaos Base, of course, an insane card. You can search Rebellion, so this gives you access to the Bystials, and 2 Desires. I'm still on the fence that Desires is correct to play at the moment, because with T elements being so popular, all you really need to see is Bystials to win the game, so you don't need to get into your one-off engine pieces like the Branded Beast and stuff like that. So you can just win games by summoning Bystials and keep attacking the face and just summoning a seal and recycling and just grinding with Bystials. So I think Bystials Desires for now is still correct. And this card is just so insane. It won me so many games, and you don't need to all of these one-offs. Even though we're playing way too many one-offs for a Desires deck, you don't need them. For the Bystials, still everything maxed out. No surprise on that one. You just need to see them. They are your main engine, they are your disruption, they are your hand traps, they are everything. So you max out on them, no surprise on that. For the Bystial spell traps, I'm still on 2 regained, 1 branded beast. I am convinced that this is the correct ratio on how to play the branded spell traps for now, just because regained is so broken. It basically just recycling itself makes it that it's at worst. It's an upstart, so why not play it? And drawing cards is so insane with this deck because you really want to have 1 additional normal hand trap for your end board. So I think this is correct to play. For the one-off dragons, we play the Chaos package. These do break, but it is what it is. 1 Red as Darkest Metal Dragon. This card is insane. That's why I want to play 3 Red as Darkness Dragon, Dark Metal Dragon, so you can always have access to this in your graveyard. You want to start recycling with your Branded Regains so that you can always just summon Dark Metal Dragons out of your deck or search them with Magnemite and just keep on extending into bigger link boards post turn 1. That's really good. Then 1 Albion the Strata Dragon. This card is very experimental, but I'm starting to like it and actually kind of wanted to play a second copy of it. The main reason why I played this is, at worst, it's just an upstart which sends 1 Branded Regain to the graveyard. So it is a very nice tool to have just an upstart to draw into hand traps once you've went through some of your combo, because you really want to see hand traps with this deck. So just having that additional upstart is really crucial. But most importantly, this being able to send a Branded Regain helps me get to the full end board of having Branded Beast and Regain set up as best as possible. Because for now, because Bystials are so popular, if you have your basic combo and you get access to Serenity Ascent and you have a Lubellion in there, for example, you are always forced to basically play through 1 Bystial. So Serenity Ascending a Regained is just dumb, because if your 1 Lubellion gets banished, the Regain is just dead in the graveyard. So it's always better to send an additional Lubellion. So if your 1 Lubellion gets Bystial, you can still summon the second one, and with the second one, then you can activate a Regained or a Branded Beast. But if you have the additional access to get Regained into the graveyard, what you can do with your Serenity is you can still send a Rebellion, still play through 1 Bystial, and then you can activate your Branded Beast. Where is it? You can activate your Branded Beast, and then afterwards you can use your Albion, put it back under the deck, draw one card, get through your deck, and then you've sent for cost to Branded Regain, and then in the end phase you can trigger the beast to get the regained. I hope you can see everything, but that should be fine. So I really like this card for that play alone, and it is most importantly an upstart and gets you into the hand traps, which are so important in my opinion to get some nice utility, because this is basically where all the utility lies, because the Bystials all do the same. They have DD Crow effects and they have some spot removal, but we really lacking like negates, and this is where the hand traps come in clutch. So we have 3 Imperm, 3 Veilers, and 3 Ash. These are just generically the best hand traps. So with these 9, we have still on 18 hand traps with the 9 Bystials, and then 1 Talents in the main deck, making it 19 go second cards. I play the 1 Talents in the main. It might conflict with the main gameplay of this deck being hand traps. But I really want to have 3 Talents post side, and I just couldn't fit it anywhere. And 1 Talents in the main is definitely fine, because this card is insane going second. And going first it is fine, because most of the time we will get Bystials for now. But I don't want to rely on it, because this deck definitely can brick if you don't draw a starter and you just draw Bystials, and this is fine, because you can always keep playing on the next turn if you have a Magnumid. But if you draw like a talent with it, and just having like 3 disruptions or something can be a little iffy if you have nothing else with it. So for the extra deck, play 1 Striker Dragon, 1 Pisty. Like I said, you need the 2 level 1s, so important. Link ones, 2 Seal, still on the 2. You really need those 2, because sometimes you can't get your regained up, and you always need a second one at least, and afterwards you can start recycling. For links, or generic links, I would say 1 Masquerena, 1 Phoenix, 1 Unicorn. There were plenty of times where I went with a Dark, summon Dark, and then summon a Phoenix underneath with the 1 body you got off that, and then you go into this with the Dark and additional body. You go into Unicorn, you get to draw 1, and afterwards you get into an Access Code or into an Appaloosa, and then you have like a very nice like link engine you can go into once, and then have some good removal, get into a draw, and then end on an Access Code or a Unicorn, or even an Access Code or an Appaloosa, or even go for game with that. So that's really good. And you can also recycle them with Regain, which is something which happens, and it's like where skill testing for me is for now. Knowing what I need in the extra deck and whatnot, what to recycle with Regain is definitely where the most skill testing part for me is for now, because everything else is pretty much solved for me. I basically know what I'm doing, but this is so interesting where you sometimes want to recycle a Dark, sometimes you want to recycle a Unicorn. Masquerena rarely comes up because you don't do it so often, but stuff like that is still so interesting still with the deck, which is why I love it. For the Link 3s, we have the Blackluster Soldier Link. Interesting card, didn't come up all too often. I made it a lot against Runings, and that just decked me out because I activated Desires. But in theory, this card is super hard to out for plenty of matchups, and this is like a plan C or a plan D where everything else fails. You try to go into this and hope it sticks, because it is so hard for some decks to out this. If you get this to 4.5k beat stick thing, T-Elements basically cannot out it, I think. They have very little to do, yeah, because they cannot target it, they cannot destroy it. There's very little the deck can do to out this card. So very interesting card for sure. And then 1 Appaloosa, 1 Access Code. Don't really need more explanation on that. Appaloosa came up less and less, but still would play it, and Access Code is just your OTK tool. And then for the XZs, I play 1 Atom still, gets you to all of the dragons, super important in some combos or just post turn 1. 1 Fan, I would definitely still play it. The shout out to Forgotten to telling me to play this. This card is insane. Banishing Sully-X, basically anything on the T-Element board, and then just 1 out of the graveyard for free is so important. And most importantly, the Gaia Dragon, you can overlay for Zeus, but this is the dragon, so you can use Fan effect, banish, overlay with Gaia, and then you can just link into Seal again. Because the Zeus, while it is really strong, I really rarely want to go for a Zeus, because you oftentimes will have your Regained or Branded Beast, and you will get so much value of those, especially the Regained. You really don't want to banish them or send them to the graveyard. So the Zeus rarely comes up, but when it comes up, of course, it's insane. Where maybe if the opponent plays it out badly, they don't have spot removal, you got 2 Bystials on the board, you can just go into a Zeus and just wipe their board. Sometimes it still comes up, but more often than not, you don't really go into that. And for me, the Gaia being a dragon came up more than it being an additional XYZ material for this use, just because our Regained is so broken, we really want to stick it to the field. Ooh, tokens. So, for the side deck, I did a huge shift in the side deck. What is still the same as the Gamma package. This is so insane. You really want to play this. This also being a target for Chaos Space is really cool. Sometimes even I could recycle a driver, which is something very interesting. But yeah, Gamma is just insane because it stops shifters. It's the strongest hand trap, and we are a hand trap deck, of course. So we really want to be able to play the strongest hand trap. Still, the 2 talents, like I said, I wanted to fit 3 post side. This card is insane going second. This lets you win. This lets you win games you shouldn't be able to win just because it is so broken. There are so little Omni negates in the format right now. Basically, it's only Toad. So this card is so strong. I was playing 3 Dark Ruler, but ultimately I decided to play 3 Lightning Storm because all of these slots, apart from the talents, are to beat Flunder because it is so hard to beat. And now Dark Ruler, but then again, Lightning Storm does the same against Flunder, but you can also go for the Field Spell if you like hand trap them to death and they end on like Field Spell plus a bird in hand. You can do that, but also you can hit Necro Valley, you can hit Floodgates, so Lightning Storm just made more sense in hindsight. And then 3 Draw because we really want to stop the Flunder deck. This is also good against Dark World for Dueling Book reasons, but for now this is what I side against Flunder. The talents go against the elements because you don't really need more against them because the main deck is already built to beat them. Against Sprite we have stuff like that. You could even put in the Lightning Storms, but I don't really feel like this because we're playing so many Bystials. So that's a very good side deck, and for going first, because like I said, Talents is the card which lets you win unfair games you shouldn't be able to win just because you Talents to steal something or take a look at a hand and you get it like a free rib. So I really wanted something to side in going first, and I did decide to put in 3 Skill Drain. This might seem dumb because the deck already loses to Lightning Storm quite a bit because it can either hit a seal or you regain plus Branded Beast, but no, this is not really on the radar of a lot of people. And because we are so good at countering 2 elements exactly, we can get away with playing a Floodgate like this for now. I don't think in the future I would still play this, but for the current meta and how it shapes up and how it tries to answer us, or the lack of answers against us, I think Skill Drain is insane. We are playing the biggest beat sticks in the format, and everything else can be run over with a Druid's Worm. Or you can link off the Druid's Worm or send it for the Rebellion Summon, stuff like that. So Skill Drain is just really good. Seal also can trigger under Skill Drain, so that's really good. The only thing which we're lacking is like immediate follow-up with the Seal, but then again, if we have a Magnum resolved or if we have a regain, we can just keep on winning, and Skill Drain is just so good. Catches people off guard for sure, but for now, this actually was not completely insane just because either the opponent immediately scooped or they had the answer to that. But I guess that's just the nature of a Floodgate, and Skill Drain has been putting in work, and I just really wanted something to counter Talents, because Talents is in every side deck basically, and Lightning Storm is not in every side deck, so I'd rather just counter the Talents, because they might Talents me or something, I don't really care. As long as I have a Skill Drain, they cannot really beat me, because I have the bigger beat sticks. So I'd rather counter the Talent, which is in everything, than the Lightning Storm, which is not on everything. Also, Lightning Storm is not an auto win. As long as if the T element player can't play through 2 Bystials, they still lose even if they Lightning Storm us. But if they can play through 2 Bystials and they have a Talents, they definitely win because it is so broken. So yeah, I really like the side deck approach. The last one I feel like was a little bit lackluster, or the meta just changed a little bit. By the way, I also don't have the approach anymore that I let Sprite go first, because now I have a really good card against them going first as well with the Skill Drain. So overall, I really like it. It just feels better to have like something for going first. And I only really lost the Nibiru's, which were crazy good sometimes, but oftentimes because we are playing so many hand traps, they just became that way, because it was kind of awkward to hand trap them enough that I can stop them from making Kid Cardos, but hand trap them few enough so that I can actually still resolve my Nibiru. And post turn 1, Nibiru just comes up less and less and less. And so overall, I decided to just kick the Nibiru, because against the elements, I just play too many hand traps for Nibiru to be good, which is a weird sentence to say, but it's definitely how it felt like for me. So, hope you guys enjoyed this deck profile. Like I said, main deck hasn't switched up too much, apart from the Albion, which is a very interesting tech I can recommend to you guys. Side deck did change up quite a bit. The extra deck is still basically the same. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed it. Class is dismissed. You guys are free to leave. Professor Sunreis out. Peace.